Hi everyone, my name is Shayla and I'm a student recruiter for the College of Health Sciences. And today we are going to be going over how the registration process works and some next steps after you've been admitted to your program. Welcome to the Registration 101 workshop for the Faculty of Nursing. The University of Alberta respects the sovereignty, lands, histories, languages, knowledge systems, and cultures of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit nations. Today, we will be going over how to plan your degree, where to find your program requirements, as well as some tips and tricks for building your schedule in My Schedule Builder. I will then give a brief demonstration of My Schedule Builder. However, we do have many tutorial videos available on how to navigate My Schedule Builder, so I would suggest you check those out at uab.ca/reg101 if you are feeling lost about how to use the platform. And everything we will be going over today is on our Registration 101 website, as I was mentioning, and in our online nursing registration modules. So there are different class types in university. The first class type is when a professor speaks about various topics. This is what's known as a lecture. All courses have a lecture component where students can take notes and are learning the bulk of their course content from. Class sizes range from 30 seats to 300 and typically get smaller in higher years. Don't panic about being in a class of 300. You will just be sitting there quietly taking notes as the professor talks for an hour or an hour and a half. And you won't be asked to do a song and dance at the front of the room, so don't worry. The hands-on component of a course is called a lab. The lab is where you apply the lecture to hands-on experience. These could include nursing clinicals, anatomy and physiology labs. These are typically around 1 to 3 hours, and there are only around 20 seats depending on what course you are taking, and not all courses have labs. The clinicals, for example, are a 1 to 8 student to teacher ratio. And the last, a class based on discussion, project work, or shared assignments is known as a seminar. And most courses do not have a seminar, or if they do, they usually have 30 to 50 seats. How do you know if a course has one of these components? If you are browsing the course catalog, you might see 3 numbers separated by dashes beside each course, such as 303. These correspond to approved class time. In this example, 303 means that you will have 3 hours per week of lecture, 3 hours per week of seminar, and 3 hours per week of lab. What if it says 300? What would that mean? This means only 3 hours lecture per week, no seminar, and no lab. When it comes to degree requirements, these will vary by program. The 3 main links that we recommend you start or favorite in your web browser are the uab.ca/calendar, the apps.ualberta.ca/catalog, and uab.ca/nursing, where you will find the program guides under the student services section. These are also available on the Reg 101 website. Nursing courses are fairly set in stone, so having a good understanding of how your degree will be organized is really important. I would recommend following the program guide to help register in the classes that are required for your program, but the course sequence works just as well. To give you an idea of what your program may look like for collab and bilingual students, you will be taking courses in your fall, winter, and spring semesters for your first 2 years. In year 3 and 4, you will only be taking courses in the fall and winter terms. Don't take more courses than recommended, as it can be taxing. One exciting feature for our collaborative program is our fast track option. If you would like to complete your program in 3 years instead of 4, starting in your second year, you can opt to participate in fast track, which would mean you would include a full spring/summer semester and study full time, but you will finish your program 1 year earlier. If you are interested in this option, chat with your faculty advisor when you start in September. Please keep in mind too, it is recommended that you take an English course in your first semester and one of the 2 option courses in your first year spring term. English classes can fill up, so if you can't get into one right away, don't panic. You can always take it in one of your 2 spring semesters instead and fill one of your open options in your first term. Here's an example of your program guide, the program guide for the collaborative program. As you can see here, there are 2 sequences. The sequences just relate to what sections of the classes you'll be in. If you decide to do sequence 1 for your fall term, you don't have to follow sequence 1 for your winter term. You can mix and match. In this case for fall 2025, you can see that the only difference between the sequence 1 and sequence 2 is what lab you're in for nursing 120. In this case, lab D and any D variations will be sequence 1, and any variations of lab G will be sequence 2. Again, you can mix and match the sequences for your fall and winter term. For the bilingual program, this is pretty set in stone for year 1, and you can notice here for that fall, there are no sequences. Everyone will be in the same sections together. This is very similar to the after degree program as well, as everyone is in the same sequence. There are no different sequences. Moving on to some course tips. Like I mentioned before, your course sequence for nursing is already pretty concretely laid out. This is because at the end of your degree, you will be writing the NCLEX RN exam, and the goal of the program is to ensure you meet all the requirements and have all the knowledge necessary to do so, which is pretty specific. We also organize our program around clinical placement, which will start in your second year for the collab and the bilingual. If you are after degree, this will start in your winter term of your first year. These are very important to complete on time and in the proper order so that you are progressing throughout the program. This will impact the flexibility of enrollment starting in your second year. While students in other programs can continue to enroll in courses all summer and change their schedule, nursing students will have a different deadline so that the program coordinator can arrange for clinical placements. A few course tips, especially when it comes to choosing electives or English courses: do not register for a course if you do not have the prerequisite. Students without the appropriate prerequisites will be removed from the course. Make sure to read the course description before you register. For English courses and electives, you can use the My Schedule Builder to create a timetable that works best for you. One feature for that is the personal time feature. As you can see here on My Schedule Builder, you can drag and drop if you have a prior commitment, and then it will show you other schedules that are available if you have something going on at that time. For AP and IB students, if you achieve a final grade of 4 or higher in AP or 6 or higher in IB, you will automatically be granted transfer credit for that course. Credit will either be for a specific course, such as Math 134, for example, or an unspecified 100 level class, example, any math class at the 100 level. This means that you have the option to noctate that course in university. The list of eligible courses can be found at uab.ca/AP and uab.ca/IB. If you're unsure of whether you will score high enough to earn the credit, add the class to your schedule. The results of your transfer credits will not be posted to BearTrax until later in the summer, so once you know for sure that you have earned the transfer credit, you can remove the class from your schedule and add something else. You will also not be assigned a specific letter grade on your transcript for these courses, but you will see that you've received credit. While we do encourage students to retain the transfer credit that they've earned, you do have the option to decline it. More information on how to decline the credits can be found at the provided links. Some questions to ask yourself. If you decline the credit and took the course again at the U of A, how likely are you to get an A? If you accept the credit and don't need to take that class, do you want to leave that slot open in your schedule to have a lighter course load, or fill it with an interesting option course, or even have a higher level course? Accepting credits would mean that your overall degree would cost less since you wouldn't need to pay tuition on courses you've already received credit for. The choice is completely up to you. By now you are familiar with Launchpad, our admission system. However, for course registration, you will be using BearTrax and My Schedule Builder. BearTrax is the online portal which gives you access to almost everything involved in your university career. My Schedule Builder is our new registration software where you can search for classes, build and plan a timetable, and enroll in your courses. You can also add, drop, or swap classes in BearTrax and check your grades, pay your tuition, and more. You can get access by using your CCID and password at uab.ca/beartrax. As I mentioned before, with My Schedule Builder, you can draft a sample timetable, favorite this timetable, validate to make sure there are no conflicts with your schedule, and it'll show if you meet all the prerequisites for the course. Now I'm going to be giving a little demonstration of how to enroll in your courses. First, you're going to want to log into BearTrax by going to uab.ca/beartrax. Then you're going to select Single Sign-On. At this point, you will enter your CCID and password. This will then bring you to the BearTracks homepage, which will look similar to what is on this slide. All the tools we will be using can be found in the My Schedule Builder in the top. For those of you who currently have offers to 2 programs and would like to swap and accept your second choice program, you can do this in BearTracks by completing the following steps. You will go to the sidebar on the left-hand side of the homepage and select Manage Classes, Change Program. Then you will choose your new program and then drop all your classes from the previous program if you had already registered in them. Once we log into My Schedule Builder, you'll be able to see a select course search tool. You can search for individual classes or use the advanced search tool button in order to look at classes per faculty by different name, different genre, or so on. Reminder to please check the course notes for each class you're trying to enroll in. The notes section will show you which specific classes are restricted. This may be the reason you cannot enroll in the class. Some courses are restricted to specific years of study, program type, and if the course is required to graduate or not. You'll be able to see these course remarks in 2 places, one in the drop-down menu under the search bar when you open the class description, and 2 in Our Classes on the right-hand side where you'll be able to see the course remarks as well. After finding the specific class you want from the list, you can click on it to add to your draft schedule, which is considered your shopping cart, or enroll in the course directly if your enrollment date has already passed. As you can see, we did not have Nursing 106 selected, and it's not going to show up on our draft timetable. You have 3 choices. You can save as a favorite, validate the enrollment course cart, and get the schedule. These are very important tools to use in the pre-planning of registration. Usually, we would recommend completing this before your registration date. To validate our schedule, we will click the Get This Schedule button first. The next step is to confirm the details regarding the class you are looking to register in. Once you've double-checked, select Add to Cart and do Actions. Once you've added them all to your course cart, and then you're going to return back to the main page and hit Validate Enrollment Course Cart. It will either say it was okay to add, or if you didn't meet some of the restrictions. In this case, English 102 was okay to add, but this mock student was not in nursing and therefore could not enroll in Nursing 106. Once you've validated your course and are able to register for classes, you can go back to the Get This Schedule button, and then you're going to check out and enroll in all of your classes. Once you have hit the Do Actions button, you will get a message saying that you are enrolled or an error message saying why you can't enroll. The final step in enrolling is the View Results page. You'll get a green check mark, which means you've successfully enrolled in your courses. And as you can see here at the top, English 102 was added, but because we didn't meet the restrictions for Nursing 106, it was failed to add to our schedule. This is just a sample schedule of the collaborative program. Your schedule may look different from this, as this is just a sample schedule. You may also look at the classes you have added to your shopping cart in a calendar view by clicking Open Your Draft Schedule in a new tab. And this is just a sample schedule of the bilingual program. And this is a sample schedule of the after degree program. As a Faculty of Nursing student, you will have access to an academic advisement report in BearTracks. This report shows what requirements have been met with courses you have successfully completed and with your courses in progress, as well as requirements that are still outstanding. This is a more advanced feature and will be beneficial to you once your transfer credit report is uploaded, specifically for transfer students. Just some final reminders that I would like everyone to be aware of. April 30th is the Apply for Guaranteed Spot in Residence at uab.ca/residence. June 15th is the document deadline for transfer students. August 1st is the document deadline for high school students. There is a student orientation that happens from August 30th to September 1st, and I would recommend going if you are a new student to the U of A. Your first day of classes will start September 2nd, and the add and drop deadline is September 15th. We are excited that you have taken this next step to becoming a U of A student, and we are excited that you will be joining our community this fall. No matter where you study, you'll be part of a friendly, diverse, and extremely fun student body. If you do have any further questions, feel free to book an advising appointment at uab.ca/advising. Feel free to check out our Registration 101 website at uab.ca/reg101. Feel free to check out the nursing website at uab.ca/nursing. And if you do have any questions before you start your program in September, feel free to email nursing.recruiting@ualberta.ca. Thank you so much.